Look, it's easy to forget the sacrifices made for this country when it's not under your roof, when it's not in your living room. But the freedom and safety we enjoy every single day is bought and paid for by the sweat and blood of those who volunteer to drop everything. They join the military, go to the worst places in the world, go toe-to-toe with the most dangerous people in the world. And that's just the hiring criteria for our men and women in uniform. The cost of this service is much, much higher. And nothing put that on finer display than yesterday's Gold Star families speaking out at a public forum with Congressman Darrell Issa in California. Now, Issa made it super clear that this was a forum to discuss what happened in an attempt to make sure it never happens again. This is long overdue. But the bigger issue is, why hasn't the left-wing media cover this hardly at all? And why didn't the Biden administration host this, I don't know, right in the aftermath? Look, I'm obviously no fan of Joe Biden, it's no secret. But when it comes to my brothers and sisters in uniform, I have such a disdain for this administration. I gave up my career as a SEAL to speak out against the same stupid policies that were getting people killed under Barack Obama. He imposed these on our military, and now Joe Biden is carrying the same water. I'm not just some talking head. This is something that is deeply personal to me. I've had friends of mine killed right next to me and others killed because of the rules of engagement imposed by sycophantic generals panting like lapdogs to appease a commander-in-chief who cares so little about America's kids dying at their hand that they do this. When the caskets arrive home, draped in the flag, tells you everything you need to know about the concern that he has for those who died at the hands of his decisions. It's beyond despicable. Now, the mother of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, one of the fallen heroes, spoke up, blaming her son's death directly on Biden. She blamed it on Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley as well, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and a lot of others.
The Biden administration, Blinken, Milley, Austin, Whited, Ball. Unfortunately, there's more. That's just the ones that I'm focused on at this moment. Incompetent, cowards, evil.
You could see just the defeat in this mother's eyes. You can hear her pain. And the same can be said about the father of Staff Sergeant Hoover.
For those who had power over our military, know that they made a conscious decision that led to the chaotic and frantic withdrawal from Afghanistan. For the Secretary of Defense, General Austin, the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley, to say that they're satisfied with the withdrawal of our troops is nothing short of disgusting and ignorant.
Yeah, he's angry, and he has every right to be. Every right to be. Though his son did not have to die. These people came out calling the withdrawal a success right afterward. I'm sorry, in no war that I have ever been a part of would I classify handing the country back to the people we just fought against for 20 years while people hung from wheel wells of cargo planes as we were all but chased out of Afghanistan. That's not a success. Not to mention the $80 billion of weapons we just left there. You can't have a high-capacity magazine, but Taliban, you can have an Apache. Folks, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're as mad as I am. But the simple solution was proposed that I happen to agree with.
I'm calling out Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, General Milley, General McKenzie, Lieutenant Colonel Whited, and ultimately the President. Do what our son did. Be a grown man. Admit to your mistakes. You all need to resign immediately.
Personally, I think they should be tried in a military court with a jury composed of the unit that lost those service members. Not one person has been fired or disciplined for this withdrawal. None. There's no consequences whatsoever. Destabilizing globally, but no one's fired. This should have been front page news from now until kingdom come. But unfortunately, it's ignored. Another issue that this goes to Congressman Issa's intent, which is it's not like we didn't have a blueprint to learn from. When Barack Obama yanked us out of Iraq, the exact same thing happened, and it created the power vacuum. And what did we get? ISIS. We left a bunch of equipment over there, too, that led to a ton more Americans being killed on the way out the door and even after that. Oh, and you know who oversaw that, by the way? Lloyd Austin. Did he get fired? No. They promoted him to Secretary of Defense for failing. You know what? This is why this stuff always happens. Because Joe Biden was more interested in a diversity hire than he was the lives of our soldiers. Said it. Not sorry. And now look, we're sending thousands of troops, 3,000 troops now, back to the Middle East because no one respects us on the global stage, because of how we keep handling our enemies. And we're paying them for it. Since the withdrawal, we have continued to give loads, billions of dollars to Afghanistan. In one case, $1.1 billion to a country that anyone with half a brain understands is going right back to the coffers of the people who hate us. Honestly, name me a country that taxes its citizens to give money to people that hate them. There's no other way to look at this. And no wonder why we have a recruiting problem. What proud young American wants to join a military that doesn't have their backs, tries to all but tie a rainbow gag in their mouth, only to send them off to fight an enemy that we just gave thousands of pairs of night vision goggles to? None. I sure don't. Certainly wouldn't encourage my son to do it. I mean, seriously, is the upper echelon of our Pentagon drunk? Stop ignoring or politicizing. Admit that you were wrong, change course, and fix the problem. But they can't do that. Joe Biden is too arrogant, or maybe senile, and the people running the military have never fought for anything other than their own careers. Another unfortunate reality of the situation, depending on the media that many Americans consume, this hearing never made it to screen or even mobile devices. Instead of covering the hearing, ABC, CBS, and NBC wasted airtime by covering the Mega Millions lottery numbers, an anti-American women's soccer team losing the World Cup. Oh, and another update on an investigation into a plastic plant fire. China's teaching their kids quantum physics. They're teaching them fitness, they have standards, global supremacy, and America's education system, we're racing to the bottom. Unions and academia are jumping towards who can be more diverse rather than how can we beat our enemies, both in battle and with the skills to outcompete them on the global stage, specifically economically. When did we become a country of America last? Better fix it or it's not going to end well.